Welcome back. Yet another season preview. Oh, you must surely at this point be sick of us. You must be sick of that intro anyway. Hello. It's annoying me. It's annoying me. Anyway, we're back. I think this is number 10, potentially. And we're back down in London, the white side of North London. And joining me as always is my ever-present podcasting partner, Alex. You must be sick of hearing that.
I don't know. We're going to have to change it for the second half. Do you reckon I should do the intro, or should we just stick with you?
Maybe. I don't know. After
last
night.
Let's not. Yeah, good point, actually. Any case, why were you, Sam? Why were you?
We got a plethora of guests today. And
is this the most we've... No, it's not. We've had 3 before.
Yes. Yeah.
This is the joint most we've ever had. Yeah.
We are joined by Spurs fans and the boys from the Extra Inch podcast. How are you all doing?
Pretty good. The word plethora sounds beautiful in the Welsh accent, by the way.
Oh, do you want to introduce yourselves quickly? Because I completely forgot. Nobody realised who's talking.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Windy. I am the host of the Extra Inch. And then we have my sidekick and best friend, Bardi.
I thought you were going to do it. I thought you were going to drop the lines. You were setting yourself up perfectly to do your standard introduction.
Go on, do it. We love an introduction. Go on, do an introduction.
Did I not do it, Nathan? Was that not right?
Close. It was close. It wasn't. I thought you weren't hitting the brands quite.
Okay. All right. Do you want me to do it properly?
Please.
Let's hear it. Go on.
Okay. My name's Windy, and I'm here with my sidekick and best friend, Bardi. Hello, Bardi.
Hello, Windy.
And our tactics guy and fussy individual, Nathan Clark.
Hello, Windy. Hello, boys.
There you go. That's how we normally start.
Sam, we're taking notes, mate. We're learning from the best.
That's cacked all over ever-present podcasting partner, isn't it? Anyway, where to start? I feel like we can't start anywhere other than a certain individual named Harry, and whether or not he'll be in a Tottenham Hotspur shirt next season. Chris, what are your thoughts?
So we've gone back and forth on this. In fact, Bardi's written an article about him this week, explaining why he wouldn't be that bothered at this point if Kane left. And Nathan's been keen to sell Harry Kane for about the last 6 months because he seems to be some sort of accountant more than a football fan, I think. I would be devastated if Kane left. I like, honestly, he is everything to Tottenham in the sense that he's all of our goals, a lot of our assists. He's our club talisman, kind of came through the academy. Short stay at Arsenal, but we like to gloss over that.
Yeah.
We want to talk. And like that is it's the kind of story that just doesn't happen. Certainly doesn't happen at Spurs, that a player comes through the academy and is that good. I mean, we had Ledley King, who we loved and was incredible, but was riddled with injuries and so never fulfilled his promise. But Kane's like Roy the Rover stuff. It's an incredible story. And it just feels like him leaving for City of all clubs just puts a dampener on the whole thing. And it would be very hard to sort of hold him in the same affection should that move happen.
See, I'm the opposite. I've got to the point now where Harry Kane for me is like a light bulb, which if you think a light bulb is an incredible thing that keeps us alive, keeps us sane, it makes us work, but it's just a light bulb, isn't it? So if Harry Kane leaves, we just replace
the light bulb.
Yeah. It's just, I think Harry Kane in the last couple of years, for me, have given people an insight of what I wrote, and I hid behind the paywall because I'm scared of the backlash. But I just kind of think that Harry Kane has become so obsessed with Harry Kane, and he's like moved away from being one of our own, from being this fan, into being this stat monster who all he wants to do is get his stats, win his trophy, so he can retire and say, I did this and this and this, rather than help Tottenham, who never win anything, achieve something magical. He's just moved away from that. So if we sell Harry Kane, I as much as I love him, I don't care right now. I don't care. Just give us the money and we'll all get on with our lives.
I mean, I can sort of see it because I mean, nobody's really irreplaceable, are they? For the right price.
No one's bigger than the club. I've said it time and again. Yeah. Nobody's bigger than the club.
And for the amount of money you'd get for Kane, surely there's a replacement there. But
sort of call back to Gareth Bale. I don't know if you were going to mention it, but the money, you know, how many players did you have to
7,
go through? Well, it was more than that, but I think Gareth Bale was like the 28th player or 20-something player to replace Gareth Bale when he came on loan last season. Was it something like that? I can't remember.
It was mad, yeah. The thing at the time was we sold Elvis and bought the Beatles. Do you remember that? I think that's what everyone was saying. And I mean, the Beatles are my favourite band of all time. The players we ended up buying were largely quite poor, and I think that's what scares Spurs fans, because we've been through that before. The fear is that you sell Kane, and even if you get 160 million, maybe you'll buy a bunch of duds who won't live up to
Well,
it.
does that scare you? Does the recruitment scare you, like the history? Like, what is the recruitment like at Tottenham? Because I know Mourinho was a big fan of Rodon. Obviously, you know, that didn't go well. But Joe Rodon, you got a quality defender on your hands there.
And you're not allowed to say anything bad about Joe.
Yeah, you can't say nothing bad about Joe Rodon. He's got a special song down at Swansea as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he had a song. Yeah, I mean, we like Rodon a lot so far. We're kind of wondering why he wasn't playing more. Nathan, do you want to touch on recruitment stuff? Because you kind of quite excited about things.
Yeah. So you mentioned the Gareth Bale thing, and that really is like the thing with the Spurs fan base, is that like we have this really big fear built up because of that experience around like selling your best player and buying some replacements, because we did that. It was a very, very big deal, and it famously went terrible. You hear sort of similar other things from Spurs fans. It's like we should stop buying players from League One, because every time we buy a player from the French league, it goes badly. And it's like there are other clubs, right? Like we're not. There's no curse. There's no reason why Spurs can't succeed where other clubs have succeeded. And historically, selling your players for great sums and reinvesting smartly if you can. Is generally quite favourable. So I'm very sympathetic to the points that Windy makes about like what Harry Kane means. Of course, it would be heartbreaking to lose him, especially on terrible terms. But I think from like a business sense, from a football sense, I don't think we'd necessarily, if we can like command the kind of sums that are being talked about in the papers. And we don't rush out and try to buy 7 first 11 players straight away, but we buy 2 or 3, and then we have some more money for another summer, and we buy some younger, more prospective backup players, and we try to sort of work with what we have rather than just start from scratch over again. Then we can come out from it in a pretty good place, even though it'll be sad to lose Harry Kane for who he is.
Yeah. Interestingly, though, obviously from an outside point of view, from me, Spurs, they're just a funny old club, aren't they? Like, for me, like
True.
last season, like with Mourinho, I don't know. Like, I look at your team and like the players, and your attacking assets is 100% where your strengths lie. Really, your defense is okay-ish, in parts. Your midfield, you know, going forward, the midfield strength, other than Højbjerg, is where it lies. You know, because he's more of a defensive midfielder, but up top is where your strengths lie. And yet you had this like defensive Portuguese manager who you sacked, and you've replaced with the defensive Portuguese manager. And to me, I'm a bit like, oh, and also, yeah, I don't know. How did you feel about Nuno? Because for me, when Nuno was announced, it was almost a bit like, is that it? Like, almost, I expected a blockbuster.
Well, there was names like Conte was mentioned, I believe.
Yeah.
There was loads.
For everybody. I don't think there was a manager in Europe that wasn't linked to us. And if you told me we were going to get Nuno Espirito Santo back in April, I would have been quite disappointed. But because we ended up at a point where I was worried we were going to get Martinez, I was quite happy to get Nuno. I'm happier with Nuno since Nathan started analysing and looking at him a bit more. So I think Nathan's probably best placed to talk about how perhaps he's not quite as defensive as people think he is.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at just his Wolves side, especially if you look at Wolves last season, you're going to get an impression of like a younger Mourinho, maybe from a tactical perspective. I think they're quite different people. But if you go back and look at his Valencia and you go back and look at his Porto, like they've got a lot more of the ball. There's a lot more attacking intention. There's still like with Valencia, like a lot of fast attacking, which is like great when it works because you get those counter-attack goals. But you also lose the ball a lot because you're sort of just throwing the attacks forward straight away. So it's quite back and forth. Again, as you might sometimes see from Mourinho sides. And then obviously his Porto side have no choice but to dominate the ball, and there's some interesting stuff going on there. There's still fast attacks. It's about like building up from deep areas and then just like throwing it forward and overloading the opposition's defense in some interesting ways. So yeah, similarly, like we were linked with Pochettino, we were linked with Conte and the big exciting names, and we personally got excited about Graham Potter, we personally got excited about Ten Hag, and then it's Santo who played not great football last season. It sort of brings you down. bring it more into perspective, I've done my research and I sort of feel better about it, but I'm also not like blown away. So I'm in this sort of like, oh, okay, that's decent. It will certainly be better than last season. We'll enjoy our football club again. So just in a sort of a place of comfort, steady comfort, which is weird for Spurs.
Well, just thinking about Nuno, like he plays with a back three, doesn't he? And he plays with wing backs.
He did at Wolves.
At Wolves, yeah. So I'm just thinking, I'm looking at, like, obviously, was it yesterday? I think, by the time we're recording now, Toby Alderweireld, did he leave the club?
Yes.
Yes. I'm sure I saw something he did. How much money, by the way, or was it on a free?
It's a bit unclear. So initially it was reported it was something like 13 million, and then yesterday it sort of came to light that maybe it's more like 5 million. But he was on such big wages that he knew that he was declining rapidly. He needed to sort of leave the Premier League to have one last go at a big contract. So we kind of just took what we could, I guess, and got him off the wage bill. But yeah, I mean, he played a back three last year at Wolves, but so far in pre-season it's been a back four all the way, and we're expecting a back four. That's what he used at both Valencia and Porto.
Yeah.
So we're thinking 4-3-3.
I was just thinking about if he does go with a back three, like it would suit him with the wing backs. Obviously, Matt Doherty from Wolves, who was it? Serge Aurier as well, and even Reguilon. They play like full back roles as well. So I feel like they've got the legs to play wing back if he needs to.
Have you got the centre backs though? I'm not sure you've got the centre backs.
Well, yeah, no, but I'm looking now. Ben Davies plays centre back. You got Joe Rodon.
We don't want to be rude about.
You don't. Oh yeah. I'm looking at the Welsh ones and Davidson Sanchez as well. But I'm just thinking, like, if need be, I feel like it could be done if he needed to.
There's talk of bringing in more centre backs though. I've heard is it Tomiyasu from Bologna, isn't it, or something? He's on the list. There's a couple more, isn't there? So I think there's a lot left to be done in the market. But I don't know.
Our centre backs are all cement mixers. I don't trust any of them. I have a theory that the most peaceful place in the world to live is the space behind Eric Dyer's head, because you could do whatever you want there. It's heaven. And if I could build a house, I would build it behind Eric Dyer, because he's the worst defender that I've seen.
Yeah, I don't rate that. I really don't rate that. The amount of times that we've been like watching football this year, haven't we? Like separately and in the chat, I've just gone, how on earth is Eric Dyer a professional footballer? With all due respect, like, to be fair, I think if he went to like a Burnley, I feel like Sean Dyche would win him the Ballon d'Or. But he'd just suit it, wouldn't he?
He'd suit Burnley, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Or if he just moved back into midfield. He was perfectly adequate in midfield.
I thought so too. I don't know why all of a sudden he was sort of, okay, I had a few groans there, but I thought he's a better midfielder than he was a defender, or he is a defender.
He just can't move. Something happened to Eric Dyer where he's just, all his joints froze and he can't move. I think at Burnley he'd be great. You could just imagine his big head just in a low block, smacking things away. He'd be fantastic. But in a team that will try and play out of the back, he's a liability. And Joe Rodon, we didn't see a lot of him, but he had a great Euros, and
he's quality.
Yeah, he had
you've got another good player on your hands there. We were talking to a Palace fan, and we were talking about Mark Guehi, however you want to call him, and we saw a lot of him last year because he was on loan with us, and there's another good defender. So yeah, Joe Rodon, 100% cracking defender.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I wanted to see more of him last season. I'm hoping that like we're planning around him at least like being maybe third choice. So then when we do play back three, he's in there, and then when there's any rotation, he's the first player back in, and he can sort of try to work his way. I'm assuming we're looking at bringing in 2 centre backs this summer, because that is the state of the situation. Dyer, he had like appendix issues, and then he had medical issues, and I think that he's so stocky and slow. He has to do like a 3-point turn to get around now.
Judging by what you're saying, I think Eric Dyer just needs a bit of WD-40, to be honest with you. Just plonk a bit of that on him, he'll be all right.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, we've got some issues at centre back, and I think that's where the money's being spent this summer.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Like, Son signed a new contract the other day, which to me was a signal of intent, because that suggests to me that Kane might well stay. Personally, I won't be surprised to see him stay either. But I don't know about whether you've got any sort of inside track on that. But I think the season's getting closer, and I've just got a feeling. He's staying. I can feel it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he might have run out of time. I think you've nailed it there. And also, Levy is a stubborn man, and if he wants 160 million, he would settle for less than 160 million, and that'll be that. And I don't think Kane is the type to kind of sulk or go on strike or do any of those things. He will just knuckle down and get on with it because he's a professional, and he's a very respectful, to be honest, quite middle of the road guy, and that'll be the best path for him if he's not getting his move, is to just get his head down and get on with it. Son signing is, I think you're right, it's a mark of intent. We could have sold Son this summer. He's not far off 30. It would have been the right time to sell in many ways in terms of getting some money back for him. So you're kind of taking a hit there with potential incoming transfer funds, but it's completely worth it, because especially with the sort of question mark hanging over the Kane transfer, you need someone who's going to provide goals and assists, and Son just does that without a shadow of a doubt every year in, year out. He's reliable. He has a couple of spells each season where he goes a bit quiet, but you're going to get 20 goals and assists from Son.
Yeah, for sure. Just quickly, because God, it's just flown by. But
it's gone quick. This one's gone quick.
So finished seventh last year. That seems quite low for me. Any predictions for this year? Are you willing, as the Extra Inch podcast, to put your neck on the line?
Always.
I can tell Bardi ain't scared, to be fair. He's gone after Eric Dyer. He's gone after Harry Kane. No one's safe.
I think if we sign Romero at centre back and we keep Harry Kane, I think we'll finish top 4 at a canter.
I think that's fair. I
should have gone bigger. Quality. I should have gone top 2.
I think top 4 also. If we keep Kane, I mean, if we sell Kane, then I think we might struggle to make the top 4. But I would fancy us for 5th. But yeah, Kane. I'm confident for top 4.
I agree. No, sorry. Go on, mate.
I think 4th or 5th. I think if you think about so you've got like City, Liverpool, Chelsea, United. Probably one of them is going to. I was about to swear. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear in this podcast, but mess the bed, right? Yeah. One of them's probably going to mess up, and then and 4th is there for a potential snatching. So 4th or 5th, depending on what's going on elsewhere. I think that's about right at the moment.
Personally, from a neutral point of view, I don't know. Maybe when your squad is finished with the new centre backs and stuff, I really struggle seeing you break into that top 4.
I can see it.
Teams you just said.
I can see it, but it depends on the other teams. It depends on if Chelsea fire. Like I can see Spurs and Chelsea having a bit of a clash this year, because I think City and Liverpool, they're cemented. They got top 2 this season. United probably 3rd, maybe 2nd, but I think it's going to be between Spurs and Chelsea. Arsenal, I don't even think it's worth talking about them. There's been such a power shift in North London. It's not even worth talking about them. But yeah, I think it's going to be between Spurs and Chelsea this year for the top 4.
I mean, I'm not too sure about Liverpool. I think Liverpool might be on the way out. But I think Chelsea, City, Chelsea, Man United and Spurs will be the top 4. I do think Liverpool will really fall apart this year. And Klopp will be, I think Klopp will be, I think it's Klopp's last season.
I don't think United are nailed on for top 4 either, to be honest. They are, a couple of injuries away from Solskjaer messing the bed, like Nathan just said. and to be honest, I think when people think about Spurs, they're applying the Mourinho tax. They're forgetting that Mourinho had us playing below what we were capable of by some distance, and we've got so much untapped potential in the squad. I mean, I genuinely think Ndombele could be one of the best players in the league if he gets the right manager believing in him and getting the best out of him. The Celso has a lot to prove as well. I just think we're really good. We're a good team of good players. You just need to blend them together in the right way, and you've got a solid top 4 outfit there.
Yeah,
and I think Nuno's good for that. Like he's not like a great innovator. He's not going to come in and like play like breathtaking football and be the next manager to be linked with like PSG and Real Madrid. But I think he can come in, be a good character, coach us like some sort of fundamental attacking football and utilize the talent of the squad. So I definitely think that like 4th is possible for us.
Interesting. Well, before we go, I just want to I'm asking everybody from every single team, who is your player to watch this season?
From within Tottenham.
Yeah.
I've got a funny feeling about Bergwijn. I think he might have a breakout year.
Okay.
He's due one, isn't he? Really?
Yeah.
He's
I
not
was
really
going to
done
say
a
that.
lot yet.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout. I think Oliver Skip. I mentioned Ndombele already. I think Ndombele is really is the one to watch. But Skip, I think, will surprise people with how much he's progressed over the last year. He
was outstanding at Norwich last year.
He really was. Yeah, I think he'll force his way into the midfield reckoning.
Yeah, I think Harry Winks has.
I was just about to mention
Winks
Harry
has an
Winks.
Oliver Skip poster in his bedroom. I think.
I was literally thinking to say I can see a lot of like Harry Winks, like I can see the sort of the same route like Oliver Skip's going to take, the same one sort of Harry Winks did.
But it'll go better.
But yeah, much better, much better. He'd be a much better player than Harry Winks.
And finally, Nathan.
Nathan, quick.
Yeah, I think that the Ndombele shout is definitely a strong one. I think that he could announce himself as one of the best midfielders going. But I also think keep an eye out for the forgotten man Dele, who can really turn it around. Now. Yeah.
Well, he's got a thing with Pep's daughter. Is that true? Or?
I have no idea. Probably.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
Might get his hands on a winner's medal.
Well,
maybe. Oh wait, no, that was the joke winner before. Did I? Okay, sorry. Leave it.
I do hope Swansea come back up though. So
there's no chance of that this year.
Yeah,
there's absolutely no chance of that this year. Forget that.
We might draw you in the cup or something. You're welcome to come down. We'll all have a bit of a meet up afterwards.
Always good to shift a few of our ex-players off.
Well, we still got Kyle Norton.
Yeah.
I think he's on his way to being the captain. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Do you fancy Cameron Carter-Vickers?
Oh, what he was
Can
doing.
have him for 8 million.
Yeah,
8 million.
Tom Carroll.
We have got 8 million in the bank, mate. I
don't even want to go around Tom Carroll.
No.
Wayne Routledge.
Wayne's a legend on this way. Anyway,
we call him Dad around, yeah.
Anyway, lads, thank you for joining us. It's been
absolute pleasure.
It's been enlightening. Would one of you like a few moments just to plug the podcast? Tell us where you can find you on your socials, etc.
Yeah, sure. So it's the Extra Inch. The extrainch.co.uk is our website. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/the Extra Inch, where we have other podcasts. One with a football analyst and coach. And Nathan makes tactical analysis videos for us behind the paywall. Twitter is the Extra Inch, and yeah, that's us.
Lovely stuff.
Awesome.
Well, thank you
so
again
much
for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we will see you, as in the listeners, soon. Well, we might see you three soon as well. Hopefully,
Yeah, why not?
We'll do something again in there probably. But we'll see you guys soon. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. I can't tell you which preview's next.
They know that by now, don't they?
We're not recording another one till Monday, so that's just out of my mind at the moment. It's miles away. But thanks for listening. Hope you're enjoying them so far, and we'll see you soon. Ta-ra.
Take care.